In episode 15 of Shaman King 2021, we learned more about Hao Asakura, but at the same time, we didn't learn the full story. I really appreciate that fact because they're really giving us chunks and little bits of the story that we're going to puzzle together right at the end. And they even mentioned that the second half of this episode was focused more on Horohoro and his little side story with Apollo the bear. We're going to break that down after this. Guys, we are so thankful for the support that you've given us. I'm Dimsy, your guardian ghost from the Shaman tribe. If you like this video, leave us a like. If you love it, consider subscribing. We're trying to get to 1,000 subs. Anyway, let's talk about this episode. It starts off with more information about how is he connected to the Asakura family. Yohmei is narrating it to Anna, who he summoned to this little chamber, this forbidden chamber that's been sealed off for over 1,000 years. We learn how Asakura was part of the Asakura family. If anything, he was the Asakura that brought the family to prominence, especially in the country, with his superior skills in divination and just overall magical powers. The Asakura family became the go-to family for the government, the kingdom, the empire's mystical needs. But something changed in Hao. When he came back from the land of the gods, he wanted to kill all humans. He wanted the land just for shamans, a kingdom just for shamans. The Asakura family they couldn't let that go. So they went out of the way. They said it's unforgivable. They went out of the way, all out, and they destroyed and defeated Hao Asakura. But Hao Asakura has already mastered the 5 points of the pentagram, which signify the 5 elements which dictate all that is available in the magical world. So he's memorized every spell, every discipline, be it Shikigamis, be it fortune telling, be it any other thing. He's mastered it all. And what was the cherry on the top was that from the Taizanfukun festival, he was able to master control over his own soul. What does that mean? He was able to reincarnate at will, so you can't actually kill him. How do you kill someone that can reincarnate? And that's exactly the issue that we have right now. Hao has reincarnated into a body and he's entered the shaman tournament to try and become the Shaman King. We also learned that only a descendant of the Asakura is able to defeat Hao, but they didn't tell us the full story. And I like that because we all know that there's a deeper connection with Hao and Yo than just, oh yeah, Hao's your ancestor. There's more to it. Their souls are interlinked in more ways than one, which we are going to find out later on. And I appreciate the fact that they're not telling us all out because there's no point. They gave us pieces in the beginning of the series and now this little chunk of information, and later on we're going to find out more. And even Kino speaks with Yohmei and say they talk about how they're giving the puzzles of information to Yo and crew so they can figure it out themselves, and that's nice to see. Having Anna there was also very important as she's going to marry into the family and she's learning the secrets of the Asakura, this little dungeon that is sealed off 1,000 years ago, that is made for the sole purpose of sealing and defeating Hao Asakura. And you know how Manta for the early portions of the series was the worrywart of Shaman King? He was the audience surrogate. In this case, we had Tamao, who was overhearing the little info dump from Yohmei, and she was like, no, how can you do that? Why are you going to put such responsibility on Yo? That's not fair. That's not fair. Anna slaps her and says, what? He's going to be the Shaman King, so he can't defeat anyone that comes in his way. You see that unwavering faith in Anna towards Yo, and it's very wholesome. And at the same time, I wonder how she's gonna react when she learns more information. And you'd think this information dump is very, very serious, and the way they transition, the way they segue into the comedy or a portion of comedy was genius. As there is this book, the Chō-Senjiryakketsu, who has all of the spells of Hao Asakura, and Anna has been tasked to deliver that to Yo, but there's a seal on it. The seal is there to protect everyone, but when the seal is broken, the 2 Shikigami, 2 of Hao's strongest Shikigami, are going to be released and cause havoc. Tamao accidentally breaks the seal and everyone's like, what is going on? It was really funny, but also it set up the moment for Anna, who in that short time, that quick thinking that she possesses, she learned the spell to bind the Shikigami and defeat them, to the amazement of Yohmei and Tamao. And that's when Yohmei and Kino, they both have a little chat saying, look how amazing she is, but at the same time, there's a major task. This isn't enough to beat Hao Asakura, but let's see what goes on. It was a great way to not only give us the severity of the situation, but also more in-depth lore, and again giving us information in small chunks, digestible chunks, and the spacing it out. It feels great, and you think it's only been 15 episodes. They're doing a great job in how they're delivering these information, very important information nuggets. The second portion of the episode was focused mainly on Horohoro. As the gang were traveling around, it's snowing and Horohoro can't help himself. He wants to snowboard his newly repaired snowboard from Lyseg's assault. He wants to use it. Unfortunately, Horohoro made a few comments about Morphine, saying how cute she was, and that made Kororo a little jealous. So when Horohoro he was literally just jumped off a cliff with his snowboard, he suddenly sees that Kororo is nowhere to be seen. He falls to his doom, and next thing you know, he wakes up. What's going on? What's going on? He's broken both of his legs. He's been unconscious for 3 days. Now, Yo is very relaxed. They're saying, yo, where's Horohoro? He was supposed to meet us by tonight. Where is he? And he's like, look, he'll come back. It's strong. You see the weird little connection, the weird little unspoken rule between these lot. And that's why they gel so well. That's why there's not been a group like this in Shonen in a long time. The closest thing is the Straw Hat crew from One Piece. But I love the dynamics for these few shaman as they're traveling through America, and we all know that the team isn't complete just yet. Horohoro wakes up and he sees that not only are his legs broken, but he's been unconscious for 3 days, and the girl that's been tending to him is a park ranger called Bluebell Block, and she's been looking after him. He is thinking, oh no, what's going on? And in those 3 days when he was unconscious, all he was crying out was for Kororo, Kororo, Kororo. And he also understands, and he says that the reason why this happened to him was because he wasn't grateful, and he fully identifies, actually, Kororo got jealous because I kept on talking about morphine. So it's a great thing to see that he's able to understand that point, because that's obviously the main reason why Kororo left, and there's not that weird mystery. Horohoro isn't this oblivious idiot. None of them are. They know what's happening. They're quite smart. They're very in tune with their self. And in this portion, this story, we see Horohoro really go in tune with his self, because we find out about Apollo. Apollo the bear. He was a bear that was orphaned. His the bear's parents were shot by poachers, and also he was shot on the eye. And the shrapnel from the shotgun left a really weird scar that's made him look like an absolute beast. And because of that, he hates humans, and he tends to attack humans. And the reason why Bluebell is looking after Apollo is if Apollo attacks a human, by law, they're gonna have to put him down, and that she doesn't want that. And she became a park ranger because of Apollo, because she wants to protect him. It's a great story, a very simple story, but also very deep in terms of how they addressed it from the flashback, and also just what Apollo means and what his motives are. He doesn't like humans. So what does Horohoro do? Firstly, he pulls out his new outfit. He looks amazing. He looks absolutely amazing. He goes and confronts Apollo and says, look, we need to talk. And the reason why you are feeling this way is because of the scent, because of how much humans have affected you. So here's the thing. Either you go to the mountains where you see no humans and you're okay, or just learn to trust humans. You know how we said that this episode had a lot of serious themes and then they segued to comedy? It segued to comedy as Apollo was smacking around Horohoro. It was really funny to see, also quite tragic. A sequence that some may chalk up as it's quite funny or it's just normal, but it was very philosophical. This portion was very philosophical. Horohoro's point was that, look, he believes, and he was speaking about his religious beliefs and what he believes just as a person. He believes that if we're all part of nature, the law that is the strongest survive has to be number one. But you need to really appreciate stuff, because you could be killed at any point. It's all about being grateful. And he was speaking to Apollo saying, look, I understand the scar that the humans left you has not only made you an outcast from humankind because you're stench with their blood, and you've been orphaned, you've had so much trauma from humans, but that scar has made you a weirdo, an outcast even amongst the other bears. So he's alone in every sense. Why wouldn't he be angry? Why wouldn't he be resentful? And it's such a powerful little story that they're able to weave into this episode. And as Apollo's smacking around Horohoro, to which Bluebell's like, no, stop. And you see Kororo just watching over. She's also very, very sad. As Horohoro's bleeding out on his eyes, his arms, he's battered, he's bruised. Apollo comes round and he licks some of his wounds. And the point that Horohoro said was he needed to awaken his soul again. That was one of the themes that he was talking about. And he also wanted to awaken Apollo's soul. It's been said before how Yo has the ability to awaken someone's soul or awaken certain latent abilities, as he done with Lee Pyron and also with Ren. It seems like all of these members within Yo's group have this extra ability that they just connect with not only nature but with people. It's great to see, and this wholesome moment with Apollo embracing Horohoro, you'd think, okay, Apollo finally has found happiness. He's finally okay. He might accept humans. He's shot. 3 poachers shoot him in the head and they kill him. They kill him right in front of Bluebell, right in front of Horohoro as they were embracing. Oh my god. My mouth was just, what? Seriously, like, what? It was so powerful, and the way they executed it was just done so well. And let's just quickly mention how the art, some of these shots were so powerful, so dramatic in their shading. Huge props to how they executed that. Horohoro goes really on a mad one. He's really pissed off. He's disgusted. How could you? And some of the things he says next shocked Bluebell. She's like, no, what's going on? He said, okay, since you guys shot Apollo, you guys have to take him. They're like, no, we're just doing this for fun. He lost it. He said, for fun? You guys do this for fun? His point was, if you're going to kill an animal, you need to make good use of it, be it for food, be it for clothing. Otherwise, that animal's life was for nothing. You killed it for absolutely nothing. Obviously, there's many vegans and vegetarians who will disagree with this notion, but Horohoro's faith, his religious beliefs are centered around that whole thing of using and respecting nature such that nothing feels wasted and you have to be grateful. Whew. He rushes in a frenzy at these poachers saying, how could you? Then they pull out the gun and they shoot him. And you think, oh no, they shot Horohoro. They shot him, they killed him. Thankfully, he wasn't killed. Luckily, Kororo went in for the save and one half of his body was covered in ice, which was able to stop the bullets. And the pattern was very similar to the scar left on Apollo's face. Maybe that's just a tragic Easter egg. And he doesn't kill them. He says, you guys aren't even worth it. If I were to kill you, I'm just as bad as you lot. And that's powerful. Horohoro has been underutilized as a character due to his representation and his depiction in the 2001 anime. I'm telling you guys now, he's a badass character, and this was the first episode where we truly steered away from all and everything that was the 2001 anime. We got this new side story that has been in the manga but finally animated. Horohoro deserves respect and he deserves all the love. He isn't our favorite character for no reason. He's funny, he's witty, but he's also very introspective. He's very smart and he's also very philosophical. I love him. He's one of the best characters there is, and this was a great episode. The pace didn't feel overwhelming. The way they utilized the music was really great. They put the intro quite shortly into after the episode aired. The last 3 episodes, the intro was playing after 5 or so minutes or 3 minutes, and this one was, after a minute. So it's a nice change. The ending sequence was it was like poetry. It just worked so well with Horohoro and when it ended, because Bluebell was saying, look, you want to be Shaman King, and you can see the blush, you can see the embarrassment on Horohoro because he's getting treated. He's a lucky fella. It was a great episode. I really enjoyed it. What did you lot think? Did you lot enjoy it? Did you find the pacing well? Was it overwhelming? I personally felt that it was not overwhelming at all, and they done really well to, again, plant the seeds for not only characters to be revealed later on, but just fleshing out the characters that we know, and hopefully they can do that for all of the characters moving forward. 15 episodes in, they're doing quite well. I'm impressed, hopefully, and fingers crossed. Let's see if they have more episodes like this later on.